Hey everybody, my name is Chris and I'm a tutor here at Chegg.com. I mostly do math and a little bit of computer science. And in this video we're going to solve a radical equation. And it's a radical equation because we have a square root here. So here we have the square root of 2x minus 5 equals x minus 4. Now when we solve these, the very first thing that we want to do is isolate the radical. So get the square root all by itself on one side. And that's already been done for us. That's how the equation was given to us. So we're in good shape. Now, the very next thing that we want to do is square both sides. So when we square both sides, we're going to have, actually, let me rewrite it down here. We're going to have 2x minus 5. That's going to be squared, and that equals x minus 4 quantity squared. Okay. Now, on the left-hand side here, if we have the square root of 2x minus 5 and we just square it, then we're just going to get 2x minus 5. That's not too bad. Now, over here, we're actually going to have x minus 4 times x minus 4. X minus 4 times x minus 4. Okay, so we have to be very careful here and make sure that we FOIL. Okay, we don't want to say x squared minus 4 squared. Remember, that's not right. We do want to make sure that we FOIL. So first, outer, inner, last. And then when we do that, we're going to get 2x minus 5 on the left still. And on the right, we have x squared minus 4x again. So minus 8x. And then plus 16. Whoops. Okay, and then plus 16. All right, now let's go ahead and simplify this. So what we want to do is subtract 2x from both sides. Then we're going to get negative 5 equals x squared minus 10x plus 16. And then we want to add 5 to both sides. So we get 0 equals x squared minus 10x plus 21. Okay, so let me take this equation, rewrite it up here. So that's going to give us x squared minus 10x plus 21 equals 0. Okay, so when we have two things equaling each other, it doesn't matter which one we write first. Just more customary to put the x's and stuff on the left-hand side. So anyway, this is a good equation because it can be factored, right? So that's good. So we can factor that into x minus 7 times x minus 3 equals 0. And then we end up with x equals 7 and x equals 3. Now, are we done? No, we're not. We have to be very, very, very careful when we solve this type of equation. Really, any type of equation in general, we should be careful, but especially with types of equations like this, because we had a step near the beginning where we squared both sides. And when you do that, it's very possible and pretty likely that you're going to introduce extraneous solutions. So what that means is we're going to introduce a solution that looks like it might work because we obtain it at the end, but it's actually not going to work. Okay, so what happens then? Well, how do we fix that? What we do is we take both of these x values and plug them back into the original equation. It's very, very, very important that we use the original equation we were given. All right, and then we see if those x values actually satisfy the equation. So if x is 7, what happens? Well, if x is 7, so for x equals 7, what do we get on the left-hand side? We get the square root of 2 times 7 minus 5. 2 times 7 is 14. So we have the square root of 14 minus 5. 14 minus 5 is 9, so that's a square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is just 3. Okay, just positive 3. And then what happens on the right-hand side? Well, we have 7 minus 4. On the right-hand side, we have 7 minus 4, which is 3. So these two things are equal, so that's good. X equals 7 does check out as a solution, so that works. How about x equals 3? Well, when x is 3, on the left-hand side, what happens? We have the square root of 2 times 3 minus 5. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1, so this is the square root of 1, which is just positive 1. What happens on the right-hand side? We have 3 minus 4, which is negative 1, and negative 1 and 1 are not the same. So this is actually bad. X equals 3 does not work. Okay, so x equals 3 actually doesn't work, and x equals 7 is the only valid solution. Okay, so again, I just want to point out that we do want to be very careful and watch out for extraneous solutions when we solve this type of equation. Now, if you're wondering, well, hey, isn't negative 1 also a square root of positive 1? And yeah, it's true that negative 1 squared equals 1, but when we say things like square root of 9 or square root of 1 or square root of 4, what that's really talking about is what's called the principal square root, which in this case just means take the positive one. So square root of 4 is positive 2, square root of 1 is positive 1, square root of 9 is positive 3. So in that context, that's what that means. So while it's true that negative 1 squared is positive 1, it's actually not true that the square root of 1 equals negative 1. So square roots are just kind of weird like that. So anyway, I do just want to point that out in case you were wondering about that. But again, the only final answer here is x equals 7. So x equals 7 is the final answer to the original equation. All right, this has been an example of solving a radical equation. I hope you found it helpful, and thank you for watching.